Did he really have a choice? Because you said he could have stopped it, but could he really? He'd already said to the Father, if this cup can pass, let it pass, and he had already gotten a no answer. So the answer is he really different? Did he really have a choice? I mean, he did, I suppose, but then all of this gets derailed. So he really didn't have a choice, did he? He already had committed to, I'm going to walk this out, and it's going to play out the way it's going to play out. Now, his difference, Sarah Beth, is that he knew what was coming, and he knew what was coming afterwards. We don't. Well, we should know some of the things as far as what comes afterwards, but we just don't know what's coming. You should know that things are going to get ugly at times, and it's going to be really hard and terrible, and yet this is all towards something that's much better in the future, right? And we go through our challenges, and hopefully we learn from them, and we grow from them. There was as many different Jewish flavors as there were Christian flavors, especially back in Yeshua's day. Now, back in Yeshua's day, there weren't any Christian flavors. There wasn't any Christianity, but there certainly was a lot of Jewish flavors. There were dominant ones, like the beliefs of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Those are the two major. Third one would be the Essene community. There's a lot of flavors. So what you're asking is a hard question to answer, except that in the idea, it's a mix of belief culturally and belief religiously. There's a big mix of those two things. Because being a Jew is very much cultural as well as, a belief system. Being a Methodist or a Pentecostal or Baptist doesn't have anything to do with culture necessarily. It's a belief system. It's separate to itself. But being Jewish has a whole lot more identity connected to it than just your religious belief system. But I think you need to think about these things, which is it's not helpful, anything you do, unless the person thinks it's helpful. You can ask something like, would you like me to pray for you? I don't even think you need to do that. Just go pray. You want to pray? Pray. We do take corporate prayer, and if you notice, most of the prayer needs don't get spoken out loud. So we pray for all of them anyway. But if you're aware of something, you got to be really careful that if you bring it up and discuss it with the person, you may not actually be helping when you think you are. Also, free advice, not very free. There's a price sometimes the person pays getting the free advice. Don't just offer free advice. Elder can tell you this, and I'm sure he does the same thing. I don't give out any advice that nobody asked for. We don't give out free advice. We don't walk up to people and say, I really think you need to straighten this out or straighten that out, everything else. I've got people asking me, hey, if you see anything, please say something, and I still don't if you don't ask me specifically about things. And I don't like to give out free advice because it's not going to necessarily be received well if the person didn't ask for it. But really, I think the context here is something's happening that is desired by the one going to his brother, is desired by them to have stop. You're doing something that's causing me harm, I'd like you to stop it. You might not even be aware that you're doing it. I want to bring it to your attention. This thing that you're doing is causing me a problem. All right, so then they ignore you and they keep doing it. So now you might need to bring some witnesses with you that says, look, I came to you, I really would appreciate it if you knocked this off. I brought these witnesses so they know I've said that to you and I appreciate that, right? Okay. And of course, they're still not listening, then you might need to bring it to leadership. Now, in the context of a small group, sometimes that situation gets sped up quite a bit and people just go right to the leadership. That can happen. The main thing is that we help resolve the problem. You can't think of yourself as a burden. I don't want to call because I don't want to be a burden. Don't you want your children to come to you? Are you going to look at them like they're a burden? No. So then why would you think that myself or somebody else who's trying to do that role experience for you? It's really more of a role experience. It's not really so much that, I'm going to actually be like your father, but the idea of giving you that experience, right? Well, then you have to do what you expect your children to do. You have to be willing to come and not feel like a burden. Which, by the way, almost every son and or daughter who I'd work with, so to speak, and trying to help them experience the role always says the same thing. Oh, well, I don't want to just call you because I don't want to, How else are you going to get to experience what that whole thing is like if you don't actually experience it? Do not offer anything to anyone unless you actually want to follow through. So in other words, if you tell your child, you can come to me for anything, you better follow through and they should be able to come to you for anything. That doesn't mean you're going to just do everything for them, but they should be able to come to you for anything, right? You also have to have the other side of that. If somebody offers you, then take them at their word and accept that. So if I tell you, here's my phone number, you can call me when you need to, why would you edit your need to, if you feel like you need to call, but you're thinking, but he's going to think it's silly, it's this, it's that. But I told you to call. In other words, I made the offer. So take the offer at its word And make sure you're also making an offer and you mean your word the same way when you make the offer to someone. You wait on Yah when you've done everything you can do. Is that simple enough?
That's a great answer.
Stop being Christianized or some other whatever eyes where we just want to, he's got a plan and I just got to figure out his plan. No, figure out your plan. Do the best you can. If your plan works, that's great. If it doesn't work, he'll get your attention that plan is not the best plan. You should get counsel about your plans. Not every little thing in your life, but if you have a bigger plan aspect of your life, probably good to get counsel. I mean, if you got financial plans, go talk to a financial advisor. If you got health plans, go talk to a health advisor. You know what I'm saying? Get counsel from a professional in the area you're having plans in. But when you've done all, then you leave it to him. You don't need to pray about anything, but you do. You don't need to for anything to happen. You don't need to for him to intervene in your life. You don't need to for anything except that he wants you to come to him. That's a conversation he wants to have with you. But what he's going to do whether or not you do it in some formal way. Now, he may wait on you to come to him because he's going to wait just to make you learn the lesson of coming to him. But it's not that coming to him is the magical thing. It's coming to him is that he sometimes may wait to do something for you because you're not doing your relationship with him. It's a relational thing. It's like I said, the parent watching the child, and I might just sit here going, okay, I'm not helping you till you ask. I know what you need. Now, if it gets really bad, I'm going to walk over and help anyway, right? But as long as it doesn't look so bad, I'm going to sit here and wait for you to come to me. So it's not that the prayer or the child asking is the magical thing. It's just that I needed you to learn to do that, to trust me and look towards me. So that's the whole point of prayer. It's not about, well, if I pray, it makes something happen. That would be much more pagan idea of like incantations and magic and that kind of stuff. Don't listen to everybody. Find somebody that is where you want to be or has what you want to have, is doing what you want to do, and finding out how to do that too. We need mentors. We need guidance, but they have to be ones that already are where we want to be in life or have what we want to have in life, whether it's health, relationships, finances, whatever. They have already accomplished don't listen to all the loudmouth crazies, okay? There's more of them than anything else. But you can go find what you need, and you need to then lock in, block out with like blinders, all that other noise, and just go do what you need to do. If you're gonna do anything different than the crazy world, which you should be, you don't wanna do what they're doing, then you should also know that they're not gonna be thrilled that you're doing something different than them or how they see things. So as soon as they find out you're different or think different or act different, you're gonna have a problem.